Hello everybody, welcome back to another reading vlog. It is actually Saturday morning. Normally I start these reading vlogs on Mondays, but I am getting ready to start my next book, and so figured I'd start this vlog a couple days early just so that I can catch you guys at the very beginning of this book, especially because it is finally time. I finally geared up the courage and the resolve to read one of my most anticipated books of this year. The funny thing with anticipated books, or like the ones that I'm really excited for, I am so ready to get my hands on them, and then when I do, I'm terrified to read them because I have such high hopes and I'm afraid that they're gonna either let me down or I'm just not gonna be actually in the mood for that particular type of book at the time that I read them, and so then I kind of ruin it for myself, that kind of a thing. I get so worried, but it is time. It is time, especially because this book came out in May and I need to read it, and that is The Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turton. I have loved Stuart Turton's first two books. I think I gave The Devil in the Dark Water 4.5 stars, and I gave The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle 5 stars. I read that one last year, absolutely loved it. It was one of my favorite books of last year, and so very excited to finally be starting this one. First of all, let's take a moment and enjoy this gorgeous edition. I found this at like one of my indie bookstores. A fun yellow inner, like the hardback, and then these end papers are a map, which I love. I love maps in books. I don't really use them, occasionally, sometimes, but I just love having them, and then the fact that they're on end papers is fun. But yeah, this edition was just like, this is the edition that they were selling. This is the only thing available, and I was just like, I mean, I would have picked it up anyway, because I'm a sucker for sprayed edges, but yeah. There's this. So very excited. I'm gonna read you the synopsis so that we're all on the same page here as we're going into this. So it says, outside the island there is nothing. The world was destroyed by a fog that swept the planet, killing anyone it touched. On the island it is idyllic. 122 villagers and 3 scientists living in peaceful harmony. The villagers are content to fish, farm, and feast, to obey their nightly curfew, to do what they're told by the scientists. Until, to the horror of the islanders, one of their beloved scientists is found brutally stabbed to death. And then they learn that the murder has triggered a lowering of the security system around the island, the only thing that was keeping the fog at bay. If the murder isn't solved within 107 hours, the fog will smother the island and everyone on it. But the security system has also wiped everyone's memories of exactly what happened the night before, which means that someone on the island is a murderer and they don't even know it. So Stuart Turton definitely is, this is definitely a mystery book. However, he's got these like speculative elements within his mystery novels, and so I just really love those fun twists on kind of a standard mystery. I also have a feeling this might have a little more of a thriller aspect, considering they have like a countdown, like a time that they have to solve this murder by, otherwise, you know, the island will be wiped out. So excited about that. Yeah, this came out in May. It was definitely like my top most anticipated book coming out the beginning half of this year, so just super excited to finally start this. I'm a little nervous though, because the last time I had like a mystery thriller author that it was their third book and I had given their first two like 4 to 5 stars each, was Alex North, and I hated The Angel Makers. I had absolutely loved The Shadows, gave that 5 stars, and The Whisper Man, I think I gave like 4 or 4.5 stars. Absolutely loved that as well, just not as much as The Shadows. And then The Angel Maker came out, was super excited for it, and it was so disappointing. I honestly wiped it from my memory. I don't really remember what happens in that book, because I just remember being so bored and so disappointed by it that I didn't want to remember it anymore. So I'm really hoping that that is not the case, that this is not like a third book slump kind of a trend among mystery thriller authors, and I'm hoping I'm going to love this. But yeah, I'm gonna start this today. I actually am going to be going to a coffee shop There's one, I'm actually not sure how far it is. It's within walking distance. It's a bit of a walk. It's a 35-minute walk. It's a mile and a half. Actually, it's a little over a mile and a half, 1.6 miles. But it's mostly flat. It's a really easy walk. It's just like a straight shot from my apartment, and it's so cool and crisp out today. It's definitely those fall vibes, which just so excited about. And then next week, of course, it's supposed to be back in the 80s because, you know, early September is always weird like that, but I wanted to take advantage of the nice cool weather today and take that walk, go down to the coffee shop. It'll be like a 3-mile walk, and then I've got to walk this little lady later today, and normally we do about a mile, so that'll be like 4 miles today, which is great. But yeah, I'm gonna go head down there, do some reading, hopefully get a nice warm fall drink, and just kind of get out of the apartment a bit. I'm getting a bit I guess antsy and restless, and so I usually when that happens I just need to get myself out a bit, so we're gonna go do that. It is Sunday morning, pretty late in the morning actually. It's like about 11 o'clock, but I did want to come in with an update. I yesterday did end up going down to the coffee shop, as you saw in the B-roll, started my book, Hung Out. It was very good. I am glad that I did that. I definitely think I want to try to do that, like, more, just because it's good to get out of the apartment, especially on the weekends, and it was a really nice walk. Again, I walked about, I guess, a total of like 4 miles yesterday, which Connor better watch out. 4 miles throughout the course of an entire day. I'm gonna come for him on the PCT. But yeah, no, it was really good. The weather was really nice, and I just had a really good time just kind of getting out of the apartment, even though, you know, it sounds like I didn't do much, but it was good for me. And then I actually got to talk to Connor for a couple hours yesterday, which was really nice. And yeah, I feel like I didn't really do that much yesterday, but it was a good day, I feel like. Today I definitely need to get some cleaning, like chores done, and then I need to edit my video for this week and get that kind of scheduled to be posted. So those are kind of the two big goals for today in terms of productivity. So getting some cleaning done and editing that video. But then, of course, I did, obviously, like I said, start The Last Murder at the End of the World. I am this far the way through, just over 100 pages, page 106, chapter 24. These are really short and snappy chapters, which I kind of like, because I think I sometimes get kind of like restless when I'm reading, where, you know, at the end of the chapter, I'll suddenly want to get up and get something to drink, get some water, or like, you know, just kind of, I don't know, like, do things in between reading, I don't know, which I think with short chapters either makes me more distracted, because then I have more frequent instances where I suddenly get distracted because I'm at the end of the chapter, so I go and do something else. But at the same time, I don't know, I kind of like it. I don't know. So this is quite interesting and not at all what I was expecting, despite reading aloud the synopsis to you. Like, I will say, the book is following what the synopsis tells you, but for some reason I wasn't anticipating it being quite so sci-fi, post-apocalyptic, dystopian. Even though the synopsis literally spelled it out for me that would be the case. This is very post-apocalyptic, dystopian, community type book, which is quite interesting. It's definitely a veer into much more like speculative genre fiction compared to what Stuart Turton's first 2 books were, where they kind of dabbled in that like kind of speculative element. Particularly The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle definitely dabbled in that. But this is like fully into kind of sci-fi dystopian while being a murder mystery. Actually, the first 100 pages, I would say like the murder that is talked about in this book does not happen until like it just happened. So the first 100 pages are really world building and giving you a sense of these characters, which is quite interesting. I was anticipating the murder to happen much sooner. But yeah, we really get a feel for what this community is, and who these characters are. We're following several different characters, and what's interesting is the narration style of this book. Initially, it almost appears as if it's like a third person omniscient, so like you see from all these different characters, but it's from a third person point of view, and you understand all of their like thoughts and feelings and everything. But it is actually a first person narration. You're reading from the perspective of this, like, I feel like it's like an AI who is literally like a almost collective consciousness. They are their own like individual, and basically they are in everybody's head in this community. Like literally the people in the community are able to like think and interact with this AI named Abby. And Abby is able to basically see through everybody's eyes, hear everybody's thoughts, that kind of a thing. And then you've got the 3 scientists and the rest of the community. Abby is the I in this book. You're reading from Abby's perspective, and it's very interesting. I feel like that adds a different element to kind of the mystery side of things and how the mystery is going to unfold, that I am very curious as to how this is going to be pulled off, because you're reading from this all-seeing eye, yet there's like the mystery element, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but it's very interesting. I'm very intrigued. Right now, I feel like because it's very different than what I was expecting, like I said, despite reading the synopsis and knowing that, I feel like the synopsis is very clear. This is a post-apocalyptic thing. I wasn't expecting it to be as sci-fi-esque. And I don't want to talk about why it feels different because I feel like that's kind of a spoiler. But it's quite interesting because you know right away, and I don't feel like this is a spoiler, because you know right away from like the first couple of chapters that like something else is happening. Like the scientists are obviously like making sure everything is kept up, so that everybody stays safe in this community. Barriers don't go down for the fog to come in. Like, you know that, but very early on you realize that they also have kind of ulterior motives. Something else is going on. They are doing something else. You don't know what it is. And all of these villagers, like, are just ignoring the signs. They're kind of just complacent in a lot of stuff that's happening, and they're willing to just take what's been told to them at face value and believe it. However, there is one of our main characters, Emery, who does not like to just simply take things at face value. She's just very curious, very clever, and sees the holes in everything that's being told to her, but, you know, isn't getting those answers and is kind of ostracized to some extent. She's kind of the black sheep of the community because she doesn't just like accept everything. She wants to question things and wants to understand things more, and she's not doing it in a way that's like, I don't believe everybody, I want to rise up and I want to get to the bottom of this. She's more doing it in a very innocent way of like, why is that? And like just simply wanting to understand. Nobody else is wanting to understand. So that's quite interesting. And that's obviously going to play a big part in, you know, how things unfold, especially because like with the like death and the murder that just happened, there is a lot of other things that have suddenly happened that are unexplainable at this point because nobody remembers, and I don't want to spoil it, but like I was not expecting the shit to hit the fan like as much as it did. Like suddenly everybody woke up and it's like, what just happened? Like it's very interesting. So yeah, I am enjoying this. I plan to make some progress in this today as well. But yeah, that is my plan today. So reading, cleaning, and editing my next video. It is actually much later on Monday than when I normally update you. Normally I update you right after work. It's actually 7:15 now. I have since finished work, taken toast for a walk, made dinner, ate it, and now I am getting ready to kind of just take a shower, wind down, and read The Last Murder at the End of the World. I keep having to look to make sure that I'm like saying this title properly. It's not that hard of a title, but whatever. It's been a long day. Work was really hectic. Not even like that hectic, it's just, it got really busy. And I had my first big like kickoff discovery client meeting. If you've been keeping up with some of my vlogs, you'll know that I work for a tech consulting company now, and I had a pretty long training period. I've since finished that. I've gotten 3 certifications. Still going to keep getting more because there's always more that I need to get, but I got 3 now, and I'm actually being put on kind of real client projects now. I have been in like real client meetings and done some like work and stuff like that, but I have a kind of main project, like, or like, I guess not main one, but like kind of the main one, the one that's supposed to take up like half my time, and then the other ones are kind of like just filling in the rest of my time. That one actually I'm joining that project from the very beginning. So we had kickoff today, and I'm actually going like joining in with the discovery calls and things like that, whereas the other ones I'm more just jumping in the middle. So I was pretty nervous for that. It was very long, lots to take in, a long road ahead of us, but we made it through. And then I had realized I mistimed my day with like how I had meetings, where I kind of forgot to eat lunch. So then when we had like a quick 15-minute break in the middle of one of the meetings, I like ran and stuffed a slice of pizza in my face. And then I was just, really busy and actually got done a little late today. So then ran and walked toast right away, and then by the time we got back from there, I was really, really hungry. So made dinner, and then ate that, and now we're here. So updates on The Last Murder at the End of the World. I am on page 190, so a little over halfway, and I do have some thoughts. My jury's still out on how I feel about this. I think one of the things is, and obviously like an author is not going to write the same book every time. They're not going to, and not saying that like his first 2 books were the same book, but they were all like historical murder mystery and had that like really strong historical vibe. And then this is much more like futuristic sci-fi, so it feels very different. It's got a much different atmosphere than the other 2, which I think was throwing me off at first. I'm enjoying it, so I am a bit worried about how this mystery is going to play out based on who our narrator is and how they're kind of like an all-seeing eye type of a thing. And like obviously we're getting things kept from us as a reader, and we're learning things alongside the characters, and it's just, I'm worried about how it's going to be pulled off and how it's going to be like just the execution of it. there have been two really big reveals. One big reveal happened at like just after I updated you last. Like right after that there was a big reveal, and then there was just recently another big reveal that really kind of like changes what this story is about, which is quite interesting. I am really finding like the sci-fi dystopian post-apocalyptic part of this book really fascinating and really interesting. I'm worried that that is taking away from the murder mystery aspect of this, because I just really love the way Stuart Turton designs his murder mysteries, and I'm worried that the sci-fi element is taking away from that a bit. We are kind of just really getting into the thick of the investigation right now, though. This past, I would say, yeah, kind of like right after, maybe the past like 70 pages have been it started to be really in the thick of the investigation. So I don't know, I think a lot can happen in these last like 140 pages. A lot can happen. Obviously that's a lot of pages, so a lot can happen, but we'll see. I am enjoying it. I'm just, jury's still out on exactly how I feel about it. But I'm gonna go kind of just get cozy and comfortable, and I think just read this for the rest of the evening. Hello, it is Tuesday afternoon, evening, I guess whatever you want to call 4:30, just after 4:30. I'm just finished up with work. Plan is today to walk toast, eat dinner, gotta run a quick errand that shouldn't take too terribly long, and then I think I'm gonna try to finish The Last Murder at the End of the World today. I've got, I think, roughly 100 pages left, and I think just with how we are rolling into the climactic end, I think I should be able to finish it tonight. I don't really have too much more to update you in terms of my thoughts on this. I guess I do want to say I think Turton is really good about kind of giving you a good feel for your main character. Like I distinctly remember loving the two main characters in The Devil in the Dark Water, and then I loved our main character in The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle as well, and I feel like I may be getting less of a distinct sense of the characters here, but I appreciate their relationships with one another better than maybe I did with the relationships in his other two books. So I feel like the relationship between characters has strengthened in terms of his writing, but maybe in this one I have less of a connection to the main characters. I guess they feel less fleshed out, but their relationships feel more fleshed out, which is interesting because I feel like that's maybe hard to do in that order. But yeah, I guess that is really my only update. I really don't have any more thoughts compared to what I told you before. I feel like depending on how this ending goes, I may have some thoughts, but I just wanted to come in here and give you kind of that update, really short update. That's basically my goal for the evening, is to hopefully, yes, take you on a walk. I know, feed you, take you on a walk. I know, and then finish this. It is Wednesday afternoon, evening, whatever you want to call it, after work. Just finished up, and I also finished The Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turton. And I finished this last night, and I think I'm giving this a 4. So not my favorite out of his, although it did have a 4.5 and a 5 to contend with. but I just really respect the ambition behind this book and how well I do think it was executed. This is just like a very self-contained sci-fi apocalypse or post-apocalypse story, as well as a murder mystery, which I think in under 400 pages is pretty impressive. That not only was kind of the sci-fi element very detailed and well thought out, but also the murder mystery was as well. He is just really well known for having like just so many details and so many strange details that are so hard to piece together. All end up coming together at the end. I don't know, I think it was really well done. I think the murder mystery element of it played well like into what the sci-fi element of it was also trying to do. Yeah, like I said, not my favorite of his, but like still really good. And I just am really impressed with how this author is just able to stick within like the murder mystery realm, but make his books feel completely different from each other, and almost just like he pulls from all of these other genres, whether it be like historical and gothic, or kind of a speculative element, or just full-on sci-fi element. And it's just really interesting. He's got a note at the end saying that his next one is going to be more of like a contemporary thriller. But yeah, overall, I had a great time with this. I did really enjoy it. I would recommend it. I think just go into this, if you liked his other two, go into this very open-minded, because it is quite different. But that's what I like about this author, and I think he did a really great job. So, finished with that and enjoyed it. And the next book I haven't chosen yet. I don't know what I'm gonna start. So I know I kind of want to go with like a fantasy romance vibe. I don't really know if the books that I pulled out, or really if the books that I have are really considered fantasy romance or more fantasy with a romantic element. But I pulled out some. Almost all of these are like fairy loot books, aside from a couple that I have before ending my subscription with them. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see all of them. So I've got, I think, 11 here that I'm gonna just kind of like filter through. Yeah, all of these except for two have sprayed edges, so they're all like subscription boxes. This one's even a subscription box from Book of the Month. But yeah, they're gorgeous. Sprayed edges will come up a little closer here. But yeah, and then let me turn them back around so that you can see the actual titles that I'm going to be choosing from. Haven't decided which ones, but these are my options. And that's what I'm feeling next. So we'll see. I'm going to be kind of just, like I said, flipping through the synopses again, seeing what I feel like reading, and landing on one of these tonight, for sure. But obviously, in either the next B-roll or the next clip, you'll see what I end up picking. But my goal, apparently, I realized I missed the presidential debate yesterday. Just completely didn't realize that was happening, so that's something that at some point here I need to watch. I don't know if I'll do it tonight. I kind of have to like mentally prepare myself for watching like political debates or things like that. Like I need to make sure that I'm going to be able to actually like focus on what's being said. So I don't know if that'll be tonight or not, but that's something that I have to do at some point soon. In terms of what I am for sure doing tonight, obviously walking toast like normal. I know there was something else that I was planning on doing, and I don't remember what that is. So whenever I figure that out and remember it, gotta get that done. Don't know what it is. But then yeah, just picking one of these and getting one of these started. It is Thursday evening, just after work, just after 4:30, and I have started my next book that I'm gonna read. That is A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. This is, I think, actually, so it's a first book. I think it's part of a duology for now. I don't know if there's more that are planning to be released, but I know the second book is out. I looked at Goodreads and it doesn't look like anything else is like announced yet. But anyway, this is A River Enchanted. Out of the 11 books that I had pulled out, I had narrowed it down to 5, and then I just couldn't decide, didn't know what I was really feeling in the mood for, so I sent a picture of all of them to my brother and made him pick, and this is the one that he selected, which actually is pretty good because out of all 11 of them, actually, this was the oldest by far on my physical owned TBR. So it's good that I'm reading this now because it's about time. So this is a kind of Scottish inspired fantasy, I guess. So I only made it 2 chapters in, page 44. I had a hard time sleeping the night before and then last night as well. I was tired, but my brain did not want to shut off. So, had a hard time falling asleep, so last night I didn't get too terribly far in this just because I was tired and my brain didn't want to work anymore. But then, of course, when I laid down to go to sleep, it decided it wanted to work, just not for reading, I guess. So anyway, this, basically right now we're following our main character, Jack, and he was sent away from the isle that he grew up in. It's an isle called Cadence. It's a very Scottish inspired fantasy. He was sent away to go become a bard, and now he has been summoned back to this isle, because we don't really know specifically why he's been summoned back, but basically we know that young girls are being taken by, they call them the folk, kind of like the fairy, pixie, sprite folk, kind of the elemental spirits of this island. It's very rife with magic, and they are presumed to be taking the young girls. They just know kind of that the young girls are missing, but I think it's assumed that the sprites and fairy folk and all of them are taking them. I don't know, but anyway, he's summoned back to the isle, and I know just based off the synopsis that he's gonna have to partner up with his childhood rival, who is kind of the heiress to this ruling clan of the isle. But basically they're gonna have to partner up to go find what's happening and solve the issue. Right now, I mean, I'm into it. It's very beautifully written, and you can tell that, like, the magic and just the whimsicalness of the magic is really going to play a big part in this, which I'm very excited about. Other than that, I don't really have too many thoughts, aside from I'm curious, I'm into it, I'm engaged, and I like the writing so far. So that is my reading update. I just got, a couple of things that typical things that I need to get done tonight. I also do want to do my nails, and then read, of course, and I also want to crochet, because I haven't done that in a while. By in a while, I mean a few days, but still, I want to make progress on my blanket that I'm working on, so yeah, that's my plan. It is Friday afternoon, just finished up with work, so weekend time, very exciting. Take a moment of appreciation for my nails. See, are they focusing? They're little ghosties with flowers. I feel like this is a good set for like early spooky time, right in the transition from the end of summer to spooky time. So I think they're really cute. They glow in the dark, which I forgot about, completely forgot about when I went to go to bed last night. Turned off the little lamp. You could see that little lamp next to the bed. I had been laying in there reading, turned it off, everything went, you know, pitch dark as my eyes hadn't adjusted yet, had taken off my glasses, had turned around to adjust my pillow, and I see these like little like lights or something like flashing around, and for half a second I was convinced I was having like an aneurysm or something. I was like, oh, this is the end, it's over. And then I realized my nails are glowing in the dark, and that's what it was. It's the little ghosties and the little like little star guys glow in the dark. So was not having an aneurysm, my nails just glow. Yeah, ready for the weekend. I don't really have any plans in particular. I didn't end up crocheting last night, so I do think that I want to try to do that at some point tonight. Maybe put on just something to listen to in the background. Usually I put on like YouTube videos. In terms of reading updates, I did make some progress in A River Enchanted. I'm on chapter 7, page 114. So it really doesn't look like I made that much progress, but I did make progress. This book is like 460 some odd pages long. I'm still really liking it. There was a fun little like character introduction slash reveal like for the main character and for the readers, but kind of like an intro reveal type of a thing that happened that definitely like changes the game for the main character. Personally, I think it shouldn't have taken that character reveal to change the game, but I guess that kind of aids in like, you know, giving you an idea of this character's mindset and things like that. We just had a situation where another little girl disappeared, so now we're up to 3 missing girls. Like some of the chapters or some of like the sections of chapters are flipping to us reading from perspectives of other characters, which I really like. There are a couple in particular that I am just pretty interested in, so I'm liking that we're getting to read from their point of view as well. I'm kind of hoping that that continues on, because not that I don't like Jack as a character, but I like multi-POV chapters, or multi-POV books. I like when it's done where it feels balanced, I guess, and like I don't mind when you have like a main character and you're spending most of the time on that character and then like getting snippets from side characters. I think sometimes it can get hard for writers to juggle multi-POV stories when it feels like you have multiple main characters that you're trying to get like an equal amount of POV time from, or like just really trying to flesh them out and their storylines. Whereas this one, it's more you're getting snippets of POVs from side characters, which I like. I think it's done well. But yeah, I obviously plan to continue this. But yeah, I just wanted to check in, give you a little bit of an update. There hasn't really been like adventuring or action in that sense. I feel like from the synopsis there's going to be some sort of like adventure aspect where they have to go like kind of searching for things, or like a quest type of a thing, but that hasn't happened yet. Still loving the writing style, still loving just the sheer whimsicalness of this book. Not whimsical in the sense of like how whimsical the Starless Sea is. This is more just like, feels like old fairy tale whimsy, I guess, if that makes sense. Like old folklore whimsy, which I really like. But yeah, I'm having fun with this. But we are gonna go on a walk. Ooh, yeah, we're gonna go on a walk now. Saturday evening. I did not mean to wait until about 6:20 to film this final update and close up this vlog, but here we are. I just kind of, I don't know, got really easily distracted today. I did end up going to, like, walking down to the coffee shop again today, reading for a bit, came home, read a little bit more, took a nap, and walked toast, and I've just kind of been puttering around, not really doing much the rest of the day, but I did want to give a final update of A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. I'm not finished with it. I'm just over halfway through, but we are going to close this vlog out. I would like to say, I think I mentioned at some point that I was expecting this to be kind of like a quest adventure story. That is not the case. Just over halfway through, that has not happened. So I think I misunderstood kind of like what type of book this was, which is fine. I'm still really enjoying it. I'm very curious. I guess my like biggest qualm is I'm not super connected to the main characters. I actually am more invested in like a couple of the side characters' story, yet the magic and kind of the folklore and atmosphere and setting of this story have really captured me. I'm really interested in that. I will say it feels a bit slow-paced. Not necessarily in a bad way. Again, I'm still like super intrigued by it. I'm having a good time. I would say right now it's like a 3.5, but I really don't know what it is specifically that's making it under a 4. I don't know. It's just I guess my level of like investment in this story. Like, I'm having a good time, but I'm not like super duper into it. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, I just wanted to give that a final update there. So yeah, I think I'm on page 265. So I think I've got about like 200 pages left to go. So I will be finishing that out within the next few days. But there is that. I just wanted to, you know, close out this vlog, say thank you so much for watching this. I hope you consider sticking around and subscribing if you haven't already. But as always, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!